Hey everybody, welcome to a short interlude on the game Jamestown, which is a bullet hell shooter designed with steampunk and aliens in mind. The story, what story there is, because the game doesn't really focus on one all that much, is tied around 1619, where supposedly I guess the Brits have a colony on Mars that is being attacked by conquistadors and Martians. I don't even know. What really interests me about this game is very specifically that it is a bullet hell shooter. It does its job very well. It allows up to 4 people. Unfortunately, only local co-op. But, hey, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and rebind my controls here because the game is awesome about that, allowing me to really make that decision on my own here. So let's go ahead and rebind all that, and we'll go ahead and choose. So it's also got that. It's got an absurd amount of ships. There are 8 in total, and I think there's at least one more DLC that I don't actually have that adds more than that. And there's also plenty of levels. There's plenty of stuff. We're just going to try out the first level here. Probably going to mess with... Who's the guy that I really like? One of these works very well for me. I think it's Charge. So the game is very much a bullet hell shooter. You'll see that very clearly in just a second. There is a storyline that goes throughout it, but I'll leave that for you guys to go check out. And it has a very cool, like, this is the loading screen where they do this very old school chapter setup. And then you get into the bullet hell shooter in and of itself. I haven't figured out exactly where your actual hitbox is, and that's kind of important a little bit in bullet hell shooters. Stuff like this, stuff like, you know, the Toho games. Knowing exactly where your hitbox is. I'm not 100% sure where it is on most of the characters. It's really the ship itself. It might be the actual character itself. I'm not sure. The game doesn't seem to focus on that much because it focuses on this Vaunt mechanic, which we're going to see right now. So I'm playing as a Charge character. His big thing is that he has his very basic, very weak attack that I'm using right now, but if you see that big glowing ball on the end, by pressing Alt-Fire, like this, I can send that big ball up to deal pretty massive damage to my enemies. But it only does so much, so what we want to do is we want to Vaunt. What Vaunting does is it increases my damage, as far as I can tell, multiplies all of my score by 2, but also it gives me a temporary shield that you saw. It's very much, it's a very typical thing in these types of shooters, I find, to have that ability. And the big deal about Vaunt is that in addition to that, in addition to the shield, I can also end Vaunt early, which you're not going to be able to see right here because I just died. But you're able to end Vaunt early in favor of getting that shield back. You know, the longer you hold out for Vaunt, the longer you let it go, the more points it's going to get you. So you know, being a point score game, as you can see by all the points that we're racking up, you really do want to make Vaunt last as long as possible, because if you do, you're going to end up getting double points. At the end of Vaunt, if you successfully survive through it, you get a points multiplier. Like this big, gigantic, laden with points scoring thing that you may or may not actually see here. But by collecting these nuts and bolts, you will also continue your Vaunt for a very extended period of time. Like, it can last for freaking ever. The main enemies are definitely difficult to deal with in and of themselves, but really the big threats are going to be the bosses, as you might expect from a game like this. It feels like the game might be... Like, I want to say the game's running slower than usual, but I'm not sure if it is. One of the amazing things about this game is actually not just the gameplay itself, but it's the soundtrack. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to hear that after I mess with the sound and everything like that, but the soundtrack is truly excellent. I went and bought it myself at some point, just because I like it. Unfortunately, I cannot hit those guys to the right. There's nothing I can do. There is no bomb mechanic in this game. I could end Vaunt right now and just sacrifice all the points that I'd get from it. I'm going to get killed here. Or I could Oh, I could just get killed and just sacrifice the points anyways, so what does it matter, right? So you see that we have a bunch of redcoats here who are, I'm on their side, if it wasn't immediately obvious. And fighting off the Martians here. And the game just has it has a neat storyline, it has a neat idea, just cool things that it does. It is also pretty damn hard, not just on harder difficulties like I'm playing on, but also the game, in order to unlock all possible levels, you have to beat it on fairly difficult difficulties. You have to unlock those. At the end of each level, you actually will gain monies that you can use to unlock new ships, because not every ship is unlocked at the start. You can also unlock new levels, unlock new difficulties, there's farce mode, which makes jokes about the storyline. All kinds of good stuff. Yeah, the game's definitely playing slower than normal. Must be the recording, which is a shame. So the game's not actually going to be as hard as it should be. Rest assured, I'm not good at this game. It's just that the frame rate is being limited. So there was the end of Vaunt. You just saw that I just got this gigantic points bit added onto my score, and that is specifically because I was able to survive so long in Vaunt. Let's go ahead and kill this guy. Or at least try to. I like Charge just because that Charge ball, it does just incredible amounts of damage. And if you're able to dodge, like I am, trying to, at least, it's going to do good work for you. Because really all you got to do is worry about dodging. You don't have to really worry about much else. I can't remember what this attack does. But these enemies are very much something you're focusing on. Let's go ahead and vaunt, because it's not going to matter in a second. This guy's almost dead. These enemies are very much pattern-based. They all have their own patterns, their own styles, and it's learning how they work, learning how to move those patterns, and also learning how do you work within those patterns. The typical bullet hell shooter thing. So we get our end-of-level bonus here. It does rate you on how well you played, so that is the stars mechanic that you see up there. It also tells you about what your title is, how many ducats you earned, multipliers that you get, hits taken, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. So if you're into that sort of thing, it's awesome. That's actually the hardest difficulty I've ever beaten East Frontier on, but it gets harder as you go on, especially as you get into Croatia, which I've never beaten. There's a gauntlet mode. Where you play all levels back-to-back. I haven't unlocked it yet, though, because I think that I actually have to beat Croatia first, and Croatia, as you can see, is only beatable on Legendary and Divine. Unfortunately, the button I just pressed, every button moves on, unfortunately, in the menus, which I'm not a huge fan of. As you'll notice, there is a normal and difficult, but as you progress down levels, it just, those start going away. I think is it New Madrid that does it? Yeah, New Madrid gets rid of normal, and now you're on a difficult Legendary Divine. And apparently there is a Judgment difficulty that I haven't even unlocked yet. The shop is not incredibly extensive, like it doesn't have a ton of stuff in there, but hey, there's Gauntlet mode. But there's a decent amount of stuff. You do have multiple ships, some of it's DLC. Difficulty Judgment, apparently I can't have that. I must beat all levels on Divine difficulty to be able to unlock that. Hardcore mode. Beat every level on Legendary. So there's stuff that's out there. There are bonus levels that I haven't even messed with any of these. At least I didn't think I did. Survive for X amount of seconds. I can do that. I didn't think I messed any of these, but there's a lot of gameplay here, and especially, I guess we'll go with Treason. Especially if you're into bullet hell shooters, I think that Jamestown, well, being kind of a short version of this game, like a short bullet hell shooter, tends to be a very good one. Whatever it does well. Oh dear. Oh wow. Apparently I needed to vaunt a lot faster than I did. Let's go ahead and change ships on that, because I think that's 100% doable with, say, the Ghost ship. So let's go ahead and do that. I think all you have to do is get enough points to survive that launch of the bombs. So, yeah, I really appreciate this game. I was so pleased with it that I actually completely went and, okay, here come the attacks. We're just going to vaunt, and we're going to ignore all of them. At least we're going to try to. Dodge, dodge, dodge! Ah, yes, I win. I win. Haha. And as you can see, the ghost ship plays in a very, very different way than the other ships do, which is kind of awesome. Every ship has its kind of own design, its own style. Some of them move at different speeds. It's the whole thing that you would expect. I already beaten Bomb Death. Sub-T rings. I mean, there's tons of them, and you have to gradually unlock these. Tons of packs. Tons of stuff to do. So, again, if you're into this sort of game, highly recommend that you pick it up. It's pretty cheap. I don't remember what it is now, but it goes on sale every so often. Just the music is worth it, in my opinion. As I said, I bought the soundtrack. I bought it separately just because I thought the game was so awesome. So I encourage you guys to do the same. And that's the look of Jamestown, guys. I do hope that you guys go pick it up. It's awesome. And if you guys want to see more of these little interlude looking at games, do hit like and hit subscribe so you can see when they go up. With that, guys, I'll see you next time.